and learning more about identifying character traits. So you're going to notice that at some point in your work today, you're going to come across this table I have up on the screen. You'll have to write the character's name, the trait you're coming up with to describe this character, and what you read to make you think that. So I have an example here. The character's name is John. I found him to be bossy. What made me think that? When he told his friends what to do without listening to their opinion. So we've been spending some time talking about character traits, both in reading and in writing. So I think we should feel confident with coming up with adjectives to describe a character, just like we did to come up with our characters for a realistic fiction story. Now you're going to be reading someone else's realistic fiction story, the text, and you're going to have to think like, what kind of person is this character? And what in the story makes me think that? So today, you guys are going to be reading a story from this book here, and the title of the story is Spaghetti, but you will notice that it's not spelled like we would spell the word spaghetti, the food that we eat. So we'll talk more. That's actually part of one of the character traits in the story, so I don't want to give away anything too much. However, you are going to start doing some reading today, and as you come across characters, you'll write their name down. And as you read about them, you're going to start thinking about what traits they show internally. Don't worry about external character traits. Focus on how they are acting as a character and what makes you think that. So I'm going to get you started, and then you guys are going to do the rest on your own, okay? So here's a table of contents. We're starting with Chapter 1, Know It All. For 2 years, Tad had been the smartest kid in class. Then came a new girl with beaded hair and bright eyes who knew all the answers. Her name was Charlene, and although it was her first day, she wasn't at all shy. Tad didn't stand a chance. So right now, I've already been introduced to 2 characters, Tad and Clarine. I could put their names down in the chart, but I don't want to fill anything out yet because I haven't read enough about them to add any character traits. So I'm going to keep reading. Miss Barr had been talking about Abraham Lincoln. She said, "Does anyone know?" "I do, Miss Barr." Charlene's hand waved like a flag in the storm. Miss Barr smiled. "Why, Charlene, you can read my mind." What was I going to say? Charlene replied, "You were going to ask when President Lincoln died, and I was going to tell you, 1865. Miss Barr's smile grew wider. "Well, no, not exactly," shook Clarine. "I was going to ask if anyone knew where I put my whiteboard marker." Tad knew where Miss Barr's marker was, so he raised his hand. The new girl beat him to it. "Oh, it's on your table, Miss Barr, right under your book." "So it is," said Miss Barr, picking up the marker. "Thank you, Clarine. I see you're going to be a very helpful student." "You're welcome, Miss Barr," said Clarine. "You're welcome, Miss Barr," echoed Tad under his breath. Miss Barr heard him. She held the marker against the board. "Tad, when was Abraham Lincoln born?" Tad was good at history. He knew the date, but it had gone clear out of his head. Miss Barr waited. Tad cleared his throat. 1809, said Clarine. So in Chapter 1, we're introduced to Tad, Clarine, and Miss Barr, who we can assume is their teacher, based on the setting. I think I'm starting to understand who Clarine and Tad might be as characters, but I don't want to make any decisions yet because I really haven't read enough. As you keep reading today, gather some more information, some more things the characters do, some more things the characters say, because that's what's making you think the character trait. Now, when you're filling out the chart, can you have more than one character trait per character? Sure. You could say John is bossy and John is brave. I would just need to have a reason for each. If you have one character trait, let's say bossy, there might be more than one piece of what we call evidence, which is what we're calling right now, what makes me think that. If there's more than one thing that John did that made him appear bossy, I should include it in the chart. The more evidence or the more information you have in this column, the better. It will make this answer seem much more correct or much more accurate. So you guys are going to do the assigned reading. And as you're reading, you will fill out this chart. Now, just to make sure everybody was listening to what I taught you today, I am going to ask that on slide 2, you answer the following question for me. I'm going to come up with like a fun one. Give me one. What character trait have you added to your realistic fiction story character? Just tell us one of the traits that is going into your realistic fiction in writing. And you're going to put that here. So according to my video, look at this. You're going to add your answer right here. My realistic fiction character has the trait of, and this is the character you're creating and writing. Not from the story. I want you to give me one of the character traits of your story characters that we're doing in class. Bye, guys.